And we are back. We were just about to get into the good stuff. So, my friends, you, with the help of Mr. Marius Wolf, were alerted to the incoming threat before it happened. It's at this time, Marius, since I'm assuming you're still leading the way, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so Marius, you begin moving in the direction of the path that you took up this mountain. I'm assuming we're keeping the same order: the woman in the center, and then Seamus, you're on the end.
Yeah.
Okay. Seamus, crossbow or sword?
Crossbow.
Okay, crossbow at the ready. At the sound, I'm assuming you prepared yourself as soon as you could tell that Marius was agitated and informed you of the incoming threat. You guys begin moving in the direction of the path down. Marius, go ahead and make me a perception test. Still at -20.
Okay.
For your exhaustion.
Oh, gee. Oh, that's a 21 out of 20.
Yeah. Do you got any fortune left?
I do.
You could just make it a success.
Yeah.
Yeah, do it. Do it. Burn it.
Last one.
Okay.
I'm burning it.
So, you burn it. You see the path before you. You don't get lost up here. You pick the path out, and you know you're going the right direction. You begin moving at I'm assuming you guys are moving at a hurried pace, not like a stealthy pace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
You're at a hurried pace, and you begin hearing the chittering sound immediately. You guys can cover pretty significant ground with Marius leading the way, but Marius, while you're at home in the mountains, the other two are not. They're following your lead, but Seamus, I'm going to need either, I'll let you pick. You can either roll a perception test yourself, or you can roll, what would this be? A climb check. Do you have climb?
I do not. So
okay, so just roll me a perception test to pick out details of the trail as you're moving.
Ooh, that's a 17 out of 31.
That's very good, very, very good. So you don't lose your footing. You kind of see, you're looking and seeing where things are as you're moving down the mountain at this quickened pace. You do see, Seamus, the woman slips on a rock that tumbles out from beneath her. You have a chance, Seamus. You're going to have this dark deal. You could just let her fall. She could stumble down who knows where. Or you could reach out and take her hand. The choice is yours.
Out of instincts, I'll reach down and take her hand.
Okay.
Oh, he's got a heart.
You got a heart. You reach down and you grab her, and you can see that she's terrified. And you grab a hold of her arm and steady her, preventing her from sliding off the side of this trail, God knows where. And you still begin following Marius. Marius, it's at this point that you hear a "ha!" and this creature lunges out of the darkness with this rusted-looking, disgusting sword. And it is trying to thrust it into your forehead. I need you to roll either a dodge or a defense to knock it aside.
Okay. -20. Let's see here. Oh, that's going to be a 54 out of 44.
I
fail.
44. That's a fail. That's a
block. That's a block attempt.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Marius, you go to bring the pickup, and it surprised you. You catch it as its full momentum is coming towards you. but not enough to keep it. It launches on top of you, and it's smaller. You feel as the weight connects with you that this thing is probably only like maybe 100 pounds, maybe less, despite how big it is when it lunges out of the darkness. It is definitely one of the rat creatures. And you catch it, and it's mounted on top of you, and it drives the sword down into your shoulder. You take, let's see here, 9 wounds.
Woo!
That you can reduce with your toughness bonus.
I got another question. I've got
Yes.
the Nipponese pauldrons on.
Yes.
Does that count? The shoulder? Does that count?
I will say for the purpose of this,
arms?
it will count. It will count as armor.
Okay. Cool.
So you can subtract 1 point for that. So it doesn't quite dig as deep into the flesh. It kind of hits some of the wood as it's digging in. Still a decent wound nonetheless. It still hurts.
Yeah.
And this creature is kind of grappled on top of you. It's at this point, Seamus, you have a chance to act. You have a chance to shoot this thing off of Marius, and hopefully get this skill challenge continually rolling to get out of here.
All right.
Oh.
Let's take the shot.
Minus 20.
Oh. Good lord. I want to use my last fortune point.
Do it.
Ugh. That's going to be a 40 out of 36.
Out of 36, 40 out of 36. Yes. Oh, man, this is great. That's 2 fails, boys.
2 fails.
You bring the crossbow up and go to shoot, and it just grazes by this thing, by its face. It kind of and it looks up at you, hisses, and it's at this point, Marius. It is now technically it's going to be your turn in the challenge. I will let you pick how you want to get out of this situation to move forward.
I'm kind of picturing us like on kind of a mountaintop.
You are. You're moving down as quickly as you can when this thing lunged out of the darkness at you, and you can hear more coming.
I probably just want to like throw him off the mountain if I could. You know?
Okay. Give me this is going to be a strength check versus the creature because you're grappled together at this point.
Yeah.
It's going to be a strength versus his dodge. So go ahead and give me a roll for that. Still at minus 20.
Okay. Minus 20. Oh, that's a 20 out of 40.
20. So 2 levels of success. Let me make sure on my end.
Yeah.
There's my stats. Oh yeah, you definitely. So you taking the pick as it's chittering in your face, and the bulbous red eyes just like almost like just glassy orbs looking like deep into your soul, and you can just feel the malice coming off this creature. Some of its saliva drips down onto your chest, and you just and you push as hard as you can with your pick, launching it off of you. It doesn't have the dexterity to keep a hold or land on its feet, and you hear it go, and it crashes against the path and rolls off the side of the mountain, leaving the path open before you. I'm assuming you want to start moving again.
Yeah. Does he catch air? Does he like fly up in the air?
Oh yes, definitely. Like as light as he is and as strong as you are, like it's like a man throwing a small child. It's just
okay.
as he bounces down, but you hear more coming. You begin running once again down the mountain path, picking out as best as you can. Seamus, it's at this point that you hear another one approaching from behind you, and you have just enough time to look over your shoulder. and you see one probably about 10 feet behind you, running after you, very much gaining ground. It's got this disgusting looking like spear in its hands. What are you doing?
I'm going to shoot at it with the crossbow.
Okay, make me a shot. With it being this close, that's technically point blank almost for your crossbow. So I will give you a plus 10. So it'll just be at a minus 10 for you.
Oh. Yeah. All right. That is a 24, and it's a plus 10.
Yeah, well, you'll only be at a minus 10 essentially.
Oh, minus 10. So 24 out of 44. I mean, 46.
Out of 46. All right. The second bolt funks straight into the creature's chest. Just takes it, and it loses all momentum. And it squeals and rolls back. You leave it behind. I'm assuming you're running as well with them still. Yes. Keeping the crossbow at the ready. It's at this point we are getting close to the cap of successes you need to survive this harrowing chase. It may be all up to Marius Wolf to see what happens here. Marius, you are running and running and running. You're getting further down in the mountain. You're getting to the point where you're starting to make it to the tree line. You're getting close. And as you do, you spot a shadow. It's a natural shadow that you spotted from earlier. Something's not right about it as you're moving. You can just see it, and it suddenly takes the shape of a rat man. And it has its arms held at both of its sides. What are you going to do? You're about probably 50 feet from it. It is kind of not exactly in the middle of your path. It's kind of off center. You can choose to just run by it, or, I mean, it's up to your decision. What do you want to do to bypass this obstacle?
I think what I'm going to do is just like bull rush it and
Okay, so you're going to charge at it?
head on. I'm going to charge it head on and try to like just shove it off to the side, like not really like, like aiming to hit it with a pick, but just kind of like knock it down out of the way so we can run past it,
So, all right. This is going to be the check then. You are rushing towards the creature, hoping to, after feeling how small the previous one was, you feel strong. You're going to smash this thing into the ground.
Always do.
Pulverize it before you. Are you like raising the pick? Or are
I'll
you
probably
just,
like
you're
use
just
the
going to
pick
rush?
I'll probably use the pick as like,
to almost like push?
a force multiplier. Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm glad you decided that, because now you don't have the option of using your cloak to protect you. As you run towards it, and it throws out its hands, and 2 throwing stars come flying in your direction. Now the check that was going to be you defending yourself is now you attempting to dodge out of the way of these. So I need you to make me a dodge, Marius.
Since you have give it a try.
Since you have the pick in both hands.
We got a 6% chance.
Yeah.
And that is not going to do it. It's a 26 out of 6.
Yep. So, Marius Wolf, here's what happens.
Yes.
You come charging at it, and 2 very well placed throwing stars. One hits you in your left arm. It does hit the pauldron. Dealing 8 wounds. You can subtract the armor and the your toughness bonus. And because it hits your armor, I'm going to say that it doesn't poison you. It hurts. You lose some momentum. The second one hits you in the chest. And it also deals 9 wounds.
Okay.
And you are, just because it hits you, you will have 2 poison conditions.
Okay.
And you've lost your momentum.
Okay.
And you kind of, and you kind of stumble. And it's at this point, Seamus, you see this happen. You have the opportunity to attempt to save Marius Wolf as he is not looking good. And hopefully save the day. What are you doing, Seamus?
All right. If I can take a shot at that guy.
Oh, you can. Go ahead and make me a shot. And I will kind of give you the momentum from shooting the previous one. So you'll still be at that flat -10 for this shot.
Okay. Oh. Guess what, Marius?
Am I dead?
No, I rolled a 3.
Yeah! Okay, all right, good. So, thank God is all I can say. Seamus, you... And the creature just focused on its prey it's about to murder doesn't see the bolt coming. And it rends through its throat. You see a spray of black blood just open up, and its hand automatically clutches the wound. And as it does, Marius, you see it shift back into the shadow and disappear. Seamus has saved the day. The path is open before you, Marius. It is now your turn. I'm assuming you're just going to run down this mountain.
Oh, yeah, I'm still booking it.
Okay. You begin, you're running as fast as you can. And you can hear the encroaching vermin behind you. And you're running. And then something catches your eye towards the bottom. You see a familiar, almost wooden archway of where these trees have grown together. And there are these 2 skulls of beastmen on each tree. And you recognize it as the archway that is always the telltale sign of one Mother Inga.
Inga.
Are you running towards it, or are you running past, attempting to flee back to town?
I'm running towards Mother Inga.
Okay. You set the pace. It's at this point, Seamus. You see that the woman is horrified at what's going on, terrified of all these rat creatures appearing. And she appears to be even more scared than normal. Might be superstition, might be something from her homeland. Who knows? You can't speak to her. So you can tell that she looks very, very upset and is running as fast as she can. And she looks just as exhausted as the 2 of you. And you approach the archway, Marius, and as soon as you pass through, the rain and the storm dissipates. All is calm. Shortly after that, Seamus, you see the woman pause before the doorway. And Seamus, I need you to make me an intuition test. At -20.
Is it Mother Inga?
Make me an intuition test at -20.
Oh, damn it. That's a 60 out of 21.
Yep, fail big time. So it's just a brief second, Seamus. You see her stop for a moment and then pass through. That's all you see. But there was a notable pause, just for some unknown reason. And then you pass through and the weather kind of stops. And suddenly it's just clear night sky. And you see the telltale hut in the center of the deforested land around you. Pretty much looks the same as it did the last time you were here. All of the various knickknacks and baubles decorating the outside of the hut. And of course the stones leading up to it with strange symbols and glyphs. And of course, you recognize more of them now, as some of them are in fact Nipponese writing. Though you cannot read them, you at least recognize them. And you would also notice that there are 3 mounds kind of located in different areas around the very large clearing of woods around this hut. And you would notice that they just weren't there before. Just looks like mounds of rock and earth. But are you approaching the hut?
Yes.
Okay. Marius, I'm still
pulling out.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
I was probably going to, continue marching towards the hut as well, but pulling out the stars in me.
Yes. Good idea. It's at this point, Marius, you take I'm assuming you're going to use your resolve points to nullify the poison?
Yes.
Okay. You do take 1 wound in the process, because you can't get them out quick enough.
Okay.
Are you still standing?
I am.
Okay, good. So you pull out the stars. Are you keeping them or are you dropping them?
What do they look like?
Well, it's blackened metal, and the tips are wet, mostly with your blood. But they also appear to have some kind of substance that maybe they've been dipped in, possibly poison of some sort. But besides that, they don't look crude, which is what most of the weapons that you saw the rat people carrying looked like. They definitely resemble almost Nipponese-like in their design, which strikes you as odd. But it definitely reminds you of that kind of craftsmanship. But it is basically just a throwing star.
I'll probably offer him Seamus, see if he wants them.
Okay.
I don't know if it's something Marius would use necessarily. It's not the most graceful of characters, so... Seamus, I don't know if you care to use these, but I don't think I want them. And I kind of just reach them out to him.
Okay. You take them, Seamus McCready?
Hi, Marius. I'll take these. Place them in my pack.
Okay. You place them in your pack. And I'm assuming you're continuing on into the hut.
Yeah. Did you mention if the woman was with us?
She is. She is with you.
Okay.
She looks nervous. She looks very nervous, in fact, but she is still between the two of you.
I'll probably look at her and be like, it's gonna be okay. Just trust us. We've been here before.
And she just kind of nods.
I would like to, before you fully approach the hut, to, I might regret this, but I want to put on my raven mask.
Oh shit! Okay. All right, you put on the mask. Go ahead and give me a cool test at -20.
Okay. So exhausting.
Be cool, bro.
I did pretty good. It was a 6 out of 40.
Okay. So you put the mask on, and as soon as you put it on, you can tell that this entire area is saturated with threads. There are threads attached to, almost forming like a dome around you, almost as if this space is unnatural, which you probably already assumed it was. And on the outside of the space, you see that there are talons and fingers trying to reach through, and they're being forced back as bright symbols flash into place. It's very disturbing, and you see demonic faces leering at you from the sky and all around you. In every direction you look, a lesser man would be horrified. I'm assuming you look at the hut itself.
Yes.
Yes, the hut is unassuming. It's simple wood and material. There's nothing unnatural about it, outside of the fact that there are glowing glyphs carved into almost its entire surface. They are pulsing with energy. It is a almost blue light from emanating from inside of them. But the structure itself appears to be just normal. But you do see that, of course. And what else are you going to look at?
Can I look at the Nipponese woman as well?
Yes, you can. You glance back over your shoulder, Marius, and you look at her. And you see a shimmer across her. And just for a moment, just a very, very brief moment, you see a 15-foot tall creature standing in her place. It has an avian head, a long distended neck, massive wings at its back. And as soon as you glance at it, the eyes glance down at you. And then it's gone, and the woman is in its place.
I want to, walk very fast and hard towards the woman.
Okay. As soon as you do, Marius, a flash appears in your vision to your left.
Okay.
And it's blinding. As a matter of fact, you are now blinded. You have the blinded condition. You have you have 4 blinded conditions. Seamus, you also have 4 blinded conditions. As there's just a burst of just bright white light. And you hear this avian screech. Just, I can't do a bird screech, but it's a bird screech. It's horrible.
Yeah,
and it fills the area. And it takes a few moments. Your ears are ringing and you're blind. You can't see anything. And you're stumbling around. And as your vision begins to return, the both of you see that there is just a lump of flesh where the woman used to be. It's just sitting there. It's just like a desiccated, charred corpse. And you look back onto the nearby hut back behind you, Marius. And are you still wearing the mask?
Yeah, I still have the mask on.
Okay, well, if that's the case, if you still have the mask on, you are still blind. Whatever magical presence has completely shattered some of the runic workings of this mask at this point.
No!
So you are blind at this moment. Seamus, since you are the only one who can see, in your dazed state, you see the corpse of the woman you've been traveling with. It's charred beyond belief. And you glance up and you can see the hunched form of Mother Inga on the porch with an outstretched hand that is returning to her side. Ah, foul creatures. What have you brought to my doorstep?
Oh, fuck, I don't know. My ears are ringing.
Yep, it's true. You barely heard her through your deafened ears, but I'll say over the course of the next few minutes, your vision and hearing returns, and you are free to do as you will.
What's Marius look like right now? Is he writhing in
Marius,
pain or anything?
I'm assuming, Marius, you take the mask off at this point.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's gonna work.
There's massive cracks around the eyes, and it looks like there's actually burn marks from where you were too close to the blast. That you're probably assuming Mother Inga delivered.
Yeah. I take off the mask and just apologies, Mother Inga. Seems we're in the presence of some type of trickster.
Aye, foul demon that was.
She always seemed to make it out, Seamus. No matter how perilous the trouble.
Well, what was she? Where'd she go?
She looks like some kind of demon bird.
The Prince of Lies has many, many minions, as it was. Come inside. I've been expecting you. And she shambles into the hut, leaving you with the cooling corpse of the woman you were traveling with. Yes,
pile of mush.
Yeah, it's like charred mush. Like it's in the form of a human shape, but it's pretty bad.
Yeah. As we're walking in, I say, "Seamus, you watch your mouth." You see what she did to that lady over there? There was a demon who was like 50 foot tall.
Maris, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I didn't see a thing.
Oh, you watch your mouth, Seamus. Don't piss her off. And then I go to the door.
Maris. Don't mention anything about the sword.
I'm gonna mention sword. I kind of roll my eyes and just be like, "Oh,
Maris, don't you do
Seamus,
it."
You need help, Seamus. You're clearly addicted." And then I push open the door.
Okay.
You
enter the humble abode, and as soon as you enter, you don't see Mother Inga at first. You see the odd collection of odds and ends that decorate the inside of this hut that appears to be too small for the space that it inhabits, or too large, for the space that it inhabits. It's kind of unnatural and strange. There is a bubbling cauldron in the center that is wafting up smoke up the kind of chimney hole on the top of the hut. The moment you enter, I'm assuming, Marius, you're in the lead? Okay. You off to your left, as soon as you open the door, you see a woman standing there. Not Mother Inga, at least you don't think it is. She's younger, looks to be in her mid-20s. She's wearing almost like interesting furs, not furs, tanned, almost like leather, but it makes like an interesting kind of dress about it. Something you haven't seen before, very unusual. There's like stitching, almost like it was handmade. It was made here, perhaps. And she has scrawling blue tattoos up and down her arms and her neck. And they kind of make these swirling patterns up to her, like her upper cheeks and around her eyes. And her eyes are blank and vacant. They look eerily similar to Mother Inga's. The sightless, as you might remember. They look like dead, blind eyes. And the woman glances down at you, and she has blackened hair, about shoulder length or so. And you recognize her immediately as the woman you left here all those long times ago. Though she appears to be older than when you left her. She was much younger, if you will remember. She appears to be older than that. You'd probably put her in her probably her late 20s, I'd say.
Okay.
And she just kind of bows her head as you enter and begins moving towards the center of the room.
Okay.
What are you guys doing?
Seamus, I think that's the poor woman that we brought to Mother Inga months ago.
If that's the woman, then where's the child?
Good question.
What's that? I hear whispering. Come closer. And you see the hunched form of Mother Inga make herself known from behind the cauldron. She kind of sits up, and you guys can see her black dress that's kind of ill-fitted to her body, kind of draped over her hunched back. And she has like a gnarled, almost staff in her hand that is still, appears to be that there's some kind of glowing rune work that is slowly starting to dissipate off of it. And the runes are white, almost like they were red hot not too long ago.
Guess we walk a little closer, I guess.
Okay. You come closer. Let me get a good look at you. You've been gone for quite some time. And she approaches the two of you. And as she does, as you've seen countless times, where once there was an old woman, there is a much younger, lithe woman in her place, wearing a very similar garb. This time much more tight-fitted and much more sensual in nature. As she approaches Marius. Oof. It's been too long. And she caresses your cheek, Marius. Such a beautiful man. And she slowly rubs the rather nasty scar that's developed under your left eye at this point. You've taken several critical hits to... and then she traces the fingers across your chest, your very muscular chest, and onto the kind of Nipponese armor. I see you've been to the east.
We've been to hell, Madam Inga, but I don't know what direction we were in.
And she leans in very, very close. Her nose is just inches from yours. And she says, she begins smelling you. I smell sorcery upon you. And she begins glancing over you, and she focuses onto your pack. Oh, at last. It's been so long. I see you've retrieved the book.
I did, Madam Inga, but and I kind of explain how we found the book, our journey as far as,
of course,
of
course. And she looks attentive at your speech, okay. But she is. Do you bring it out?
I do. I kind of at the end and tell her that when we were at the temple and where we found the book and the skull and then and the kind of on the altar and everything. And I bring out the book.
All right. As soon as she sees the book, she's just like focused on it.
And I kind of lay it down on the her. I guess I imagine her having a table in the center of the.
Yes, there's a table like right next to the cauldron where you had previously carved up Tarkag's head. So yes, there's a table there. You put the book down, and she's
actually before we're about to lay down the book, I say, I was going to bring this to you, Mother Inga. I have no. I have no understanding of these type of things. I've seen terrible writings and stuff when I open up this damnable tome, and I'm about to lay it down, but before I do, I say, "But what about that boy that we brought here?"
Boy, you say? I see no boy. I see a man. And she motions behind you, Seamus. And Seamus, you turn around. Marius, I'm assuming you're looking as well. And there is a young man, probably 18, 19 years old, standing behind you, Seamus, very strongly built. Shirtless. He has a bow strung across his body. and he has a large, very, very large hunting spear that has intricate designs woven into it. And the tip of the spear is actually, it looks like a piece of like obsidian glass almost. Very unique looking weapon. And there are kind of strange tattoos, very similar to the woman. And they are glowing blue, and they are done across his chest, and you're assuming probably his back and most of his exposed flesh. His head is shaven, bald, and his eyes are equally blank and vacant, just like Mother Inga's and the woman's. And he does have a thick beard about him as well. And he doesn't say anything. He's just standing there.
Is he bigger than Marius?
Is he bigger than me?
He's taller. He's about 6'6". He's very muscular. He's muscular, but you've seen Marius with his shirt off. I mean, Marius is like, he's like a Greek god. This man is would be this man would be exceptional amongst most. Marius is just a step above the rest.
Oh.
But still much more than you, Seamus. So, yes.
I kind of look towards the woman and the man.
Mm-hmm.
Miss, boy, has Mother Inga treated you well in your time here. You seem to have, pardon me, ma'am, this is rude, but you've seemed to age quite a lot.
And the man doesn't speak. He's blank-faced, just looking at you. The woman, however, does. Mother has always treated us well. It has been quite some time since we were brought here, but she's been kind, sheltered us from the heathens, from the city. And she kind of just glances back down and begins actually attending to the pot itself, stirring it.
Okay. I kind of looked at Seamus like, oh, this shit's crazy. And I lay down the book.
Okay, you lay down the book. All right. Yeah. And she begins looking over it. Do you open it?
I do not open it. I just lay it down. So she can kind of like glance at it.
Sees it, and she begins tracing outlines onto it. So much power, so much untapped potential. Do you know what this is, Wolf? I'll tell you. This is your destiny. This is what you were born for. Events have been set into motion, Wolf, as well as you, man of many names and many... What would I call you? Your fate is rather uncertain at this moment, but perhaps death would be more fitting as she glances at your sword, Seamus. Regardless, you will both need to make this pilgrimage to keep the Forsaken at bay.
Forsaken? I just want to work in the mine, Mother Inga. I don't want to go on some quest.
And she smirks. Often those chosen do not wish to do much of anything, but fate has a way of forcing those who do not bend to its will to do as they must. And I have seen your future, Wolf. You will do these things one way or another. And she glances, and when she says another, she glances towards the vacant blank man. And that's it. She leaves it at that.
Does the man do anything?
Nope. He is almost like an automaton. No motion, no emotion, no nothing.
Okay. Yeah. So how are things? No. No. Just I kind of like look at Seamus, see if he's gonna say anything to her.
Mother Inga, how much time has passed since we last saw you?
Time. And she kind of smiles broadly. And as she does, as she kind of lets out that sigh, Seamus, suddenly she's right beside you. It's rather unnerving. It's happened before. And her hands are draped around your shoulders, and she's feeling around the curves of your body. Very sensual. And she whispers in your ear, time means little to many of us. Time is fleeting. It doesn't have to be for you, Seamus. And she begins wrapping one of her arms around your midsections, traveling lower and lower. And then it comes to your sword.
Oh.
And her hand touches it. And she whispers more into your ear where Marius can't hear. I see you've taken some power, Seamus. Do you wish to keep it? Or do you wish the corruption that's rotting your soul to continue?
Soul feels fine.
She goes, then at this point she says, I will give you a boon then. And Seamus, her left hand, which has been kind of caressing your kind of like ab area, plunges into your flesh, deep into your body. You immediately cry out, and Marius, you turn around, and Mother Inga's hand rips free this black pulsing mass out of Seamus's body. The flesh looks unscarred. The clothes are ripped and tattered. Somehow, your chainmail is intact, Seamus. But your leather armor is in tatters, where the hand once was. As she rips it out, these tendrils are like attached, and she pulls it further and further back until they snap free. And as she does, you see there's this squirming black mass in her hands. And suddenly she appears next to the cauldron and dumps it into the cauldron. And Seamus, you can remove a corruption point from from yourself.
Ooh, yeah.
As she has taken some of the corruption from your body. I'll take this as a bit of a down payment, we'll call it. And then she looks to Marius. Do you fear for this man?
I fear for all of us right now, quite frankly. But yes. Yeah. Yes, I do. I worry. There's too much power. He becomes like more himself when he is slain a foe.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. There's strong magics at work at here. Rather unsophisticated, but strong, powerful.
Is there anything you can do to help him to control this newfound power?
I will do my best. Continue, Seamus.
I feel pretty fine, Marius. She just took something out of me, Marius. I think I feel pretty.
Oh yeah,
pretty
you just screamed out in pain. That's cool, it's fine.
Exactly.
But Marius, There's no wound.
Are you sure? Are you sure there's nothing wrong with your head? I mean, I feel like you're not making sense. And I just kind of look back at Mother Inga. I mean,
yes, and she will
clearly he
Go
needs guidance in this type of sorcery.
I will do what I can. I don't promise much, but I do promise that your fates are intertwined, and you must watch over him as best you can. As far as the book is concerned, Wolf, you will need it. Keep it with you. Keep it secret. Keep it safe.
I grab it.
you take the book, and are you guys moving to leave, or what are you doing?
I do tell her about the dark deal that we saw.
You do, so you do mention it. Okay, as soon as you
Yes.
start talking about the man with the thing with the antlers, you see there's just a slight shift in her kind of posture.
Uh-huh.
And she goes rigid for just a moment. She doesn't reveal too
fear?
much about herself. Make me an intuition test, of course, at -20 because you're severely exhausted, and we'll see what you can discern. But there is a visible pause.
No, I don't get it. It's 60 out of 4.
So you don't know anything about what you're kind of slightly still horrified, honestly, but you don't. You can't discern what it is, but you do know she takes note. Essentially, is what you have noticed for sure.
Okay,
but you can't not discern much more than that. She's very mysterious and enigmatic, as it was. And as you speak of that creature, she basically says, then things are much more dire than I had realized. Look for my sign. You'll be called upon. You'll need to make many, many journeys. And she leaves it at that.
Kind of nod, and I'm always so welcoming, Mother Inga. And I kind of bow my head and kind of gesture to Seamus, like, let's get the hell out of here.
Yes. All right. You go to leave. All right. And as you go to leave, Seamus, the man steps out of your way so that you can pass. And as you, because you're right next to the door, I'm assuming, Seamus, you didn't move too much further into the house, did you?
No.
Okay. So as you're passing by Seamus, the man leans down to you, as he is taller than you, and whispers into your ear, "Seek the blue rose." And he just leaves it at that. And he sits up straight, almost as if he never moved. And you guys, I'm assuming, are heading on your way.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, seek the black rose, not the blue rose. My bad. That's a big difference.
Okay.
Black rose.
Okay.
Marius, you didn't hear this. Only Seamus heard it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, bro.
Sorry,
That guy's
guys.
taller than me? I don't like it.
He is taller than you.
Uh,
Sorry. So you move to leave. The charred husk of Goop is still outside of the hut. You walk past her and are making your way towards to the doorway to leave Mother Inga's abode. Any last things you want to do before you leave this area?
Can we take a long rest in here?
Do you want to camp out next to Mother Inga's hut?
No.
Probably not.
Kind of.
I mean, you can do whatever you want. You want to take a long rest here?
No, we'll leave.
Okay. Who's leaving first?
I guess I will, unless James wants to.
Okay. Yeah, Marius, go ahead.
All right, Marius.
All right,
you take the first bullet. It's fine.
I do it. I step out.
Yep. You step out. You step through the doorway, and of course, Seamus, you see it shimmer. As the woods beyond are obviously not the woods that are actually there. It's all some kind of elaborate image, as far as you can tell. And then you step in afterwards, Seamus. Marius, as you step out, it's still dark. Very, very dark. The storm has appeared to have passed. But you are on the edge of a road. Cobblestone road. In the woods. Never seen one here before. Highly unusual.
Yeah.
And Seamus, you step out. And Seamus, you know, being local, or for, growing up in Sealburg, you recognize some of the landmarks, some of the trees nearby. But this road was not here. It's a cobblestone road. This used to be the dirt road that led to Sealburg. Are you guys going to follow it?
Yes. I'll probably look down there it is. I don't think we were gone for just a couple of months. I think a significant amount of time may have passed. Look at this road.
You're right, friend. I do feel like time may have passed us by. We were often Sigma knows where.
Yeah, as you guys, I'm assuming this conversation is happening as you're moving down the road, and almost on cue, almost like this is some kind of movie moment. As soon as you finish that last line, you step out of what you thought would be the edge of the woods. More has been cleared, and almost on cue, you see a 15-foot tall stone wall with a large gate in place. It was not here before. It's massive. In fact, if this is Sealburg, this is where the old wall would have been. And you guys glance up. There's still kind of a decent amount of fog hovering above the city and above you, low clouds as it was. And it is still very dark, but you can see this well enough. And there are torch sconces up above on the walls at certain moments, at certain intervals, that are lit. And you can see the glint of metal as about 30 to 40 feet on each side of the large double set of doors. You can see what looks like a cylinder, it's obviously of a pretty decent size with a taper to it. Seamus, you saw schematics for something like this back when you were doing your toll-keeping job all those long months ago. You would recognize it as schematics for a cannon. And there are obviously cannons on the walls, 2 of them that you can see. And there are figures pacing back and forth above. Are you guys approaching?
I kind of grab Seamus by the shoulder. Seamus, I think we need to cover up your hands, friend. I don't want people asking too many questions about your dark magic on your hands.
Yes, there is the mark that has been burned into Seamus's right hand. Which is oddly never healed. It's just kind of like the skin is just kind of decayed in that area and has never healed over. There's no pain. It's just kind of just there.
Might be dead, you might say.
Might be dead.
I take out a bandage and kind of wrap it up real quick for him.
Mm-hmm. And as you wrap that up, are you approaching the gate at this point?
I'm gonna at least try to take off my pauldrons and just kind of toss them to the ground.
There we go. Good idea. Seamus, do you take yours off?
Pauldrons.
I don't know. I had any, so sure.
Okay.
Yeah, we killed those.
You did
those Nipponese. Yeah, we killed those Nipponese all those weeks ago.
Yes,
and took their clothes.
Yeah,
we've been wearing them ever since.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You've been wearing them this whole time. So yes.
I can't remember if that was before or after I took the essence of Tarkag and everything shattered.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
yep, that's true.
Right.
So Seamus doesn't have any on because all of his shattered off. I totally forgot about that. So only Marius is wearing his. Marius, you take off what you have. Are you still wearing the clogs? Are you going to walk up barefoot?
I'll probably walk up barefoot.
Yes. Yes. Oh, this is going to be great.
Never mind.
And then Seamus is wearing his very edgy black dark elf boots. Yes, this is going to be good.
I'll kick those off.
You'll kick those off? Why not? Why you don't want to keep them?
Seeing what Marius is doing, I'll follow suit.
Okay.
All right. So wearing my pack and my pick and probably pants.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh yeah. This is going to go great. There's two strange men walking up to the stone gate in the middle of the night. No shoes.
Do this.
No shirt. We'll see if they get service. So you approach the gate and you hear a voice. Hey, who goes there? When you're about 40 feet off from the gate, and it is closed.
I shout out, Marius Wolf and Seamus McCready.
Should I know those names? And then he looks over. Tom, you. Who the fuck are these people? I mean, they're walking in the middle of the night. I don't know. Probably some one of those bastards out in the woods. Maybe we should just shoot them.
Don't shoot. We're on a special mission for Governor Freeze.
Oh yeah.
Go. With no shoes and no shirt.
It's been quite the journey, friend.
We were robbed. There's bandits out here. Why don't you do your fucking job?
At that point, you can't really see up there that well, but Seamus, you recognize distinctly the click of several crossbows as they are loaded and drawn. And probably pointed in your direction. Marius, go ahead and make me a charm roll at your -20 to see how this goes.
-20? Oh no, let's see how this... Ooh, that's a 20 out of 17.
Out of 17?
Fail.
It's a minor failure. It's barely a failure.
Yeah.
I will give you the opportunity, depending on what you say, if your DM enjoys it, he might let you get a success. So you've got a brief moment for rebuttal here.
Friends, do I hear the clicks too? Of the crossbows?
Yes.
Okay. I just kind of put up my hands, showing I don't have any weapons. I just saying, friends, there's no need to shed blood tonight. We've had a long journey, as you can see. We just want to get back into the city, have a drink at the taggy. I'll tell you what, we'll buy you around.
Buy us around? Tom, he said he'd buy us around. And you hear the other one. I heard him. Calm down by Sigmar's balls. And he calls down. You wouldn't be one of Three Fingers' men, would you?
I have no idea who that is. And
then Tom's like, "Good enough for me!" And you hear the clink of something, and the doors slowly begin opening inwards, and it looks like the way is open to you.
As we walk in, I'll whisper to Marius, "Marius, you're broke. You don't have any money. How are you gonna buy all these drinks?"
I had 3 silver pieces. Well, I'm sure Amber Valley
Where did you get 3 silver pieces?
In that hellhole. And then I kind of just shout that out, kind of loudly.
About the 3 silver pieces?
Oh no, just about the hellhole. Just in that hellhole. And then it's just like, if anyone knows silver, it's good old Amber Valley. He knows the value of things. And I just kind of like wave towards the guards. Friends.
Yes.
Are you able to get that drink right now?
And you hear the one who you just assume is Tom. I wish I could. The Master Sergeant would be quite upset with us if we left our post. He's not actually Master Sergeant. I just made that up on the spot because I don't have a title for him yet. But somebody would be upset if he left his post. But I'm afraid we will unfortunately be joining you later. Please do. Please don't make me regret this. I'd hate to go searching for you.
I would hate for you to search for me too. And I tell him that I'll put a tab out, or I'll buy him around with.
Okay.
That's
fair.
That's
fair. That's fair and good. All is resolved. For the sake of expedience, that'll go well. So you are allowed safe passage through. As soon as you enter, there are houses and businesses. This cobbled street goes all the way up, and now that you're through the walls, you can see in the distance there's the entrance to the mine against the mountain itself. And this is still the main thoroughfare through this city. But obviously significant time has passed. You're not sure how much or how long, but time has definitely passed. And there are new buildings. There are, of course, more houses. There are more people walking around. And not just the grizzled miners and the locals, but there are city folk. It appears that Sealburg has gone from a small village to an actual full-fledged town in your absence. I'm assuming you're making a beeline for the Thaggy.
Yep, just walking barefoot through the streets.
Walking barefoot in the cobblestone streets. And I will say that at one point, Marius, you do step in shit, as this is not a very clean environment. You do see there are horses and things like that coming through. Big pile of just horse shit. Just foot in it. It stinks. You're like,
damn it.
Exactly. You do see, Seamus, you especially, glancing about. You would also see, there's a fair number of rats. Just as many as you remembered from before. Just kind of chittering back and forth. These aren't, of course, human size, but they are rather large. The size of like a small cat, running around, darting back and forth, trying to keep to the shadows. You would also notice on your way in more significant buildings, the more ones that just stand out on their own. There's a large 3-story building of new make. It appears to be built fairly well. And Seamus, you're immediately drawn to it as you're passing, as there are lights illuminating the windows with a red shade pulled over them, so leaving this red kind of hue coming from the inside. And there's the smell of laughing and music and probably beer, and of course women laughing coming from inside as you pass. And of course other sounds to go with that as you pass by. You keep walking. Yes, exactly. Immediately, Okay, might have to check that one out on the way back, maybe.
Yep.
You pass by a couple other structures. It's dark, so it's kind of hard to make everything out. But for the sake of brevity, you make it all the way back to the town square, which looks pretty much the same, except for most of the buildings have a more better upkeep. And the governor's mansion in particular is much more ornate than it was before. We can go over that in more detail in the morning if you so choose. But you take the side road to get to the Thaggy, since I'm assuming that is still our destination, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And the first thing you notice as you are approaching the Thaggy is that the street seems a little not as busy as some of the other places, and definitely not as busy as it should be at this time of night. There should be a lot of people from the mine coming in and drinking and things of that sort. But you do see a small child sitting on just outside the doors. Appears to be, as you get closer, it appears to be a girl. She has, let me make sure. Yes, you see the sign for the silver Thaggy. A small girl, light brown hair, blue eyes, wearing kind of like a decent looking yellow dress. Nothing fancy, but nothing like in tatters. And she's kind of humming to herself. And as you see people walk by, a couple gruff miners and whatnot walk by, you see her eyes light up as they appear to be approaching the Thaggy, and then as they pass by, she kind of deflates. It's like, oh. And then she sees you two walking up, although you are in a very disheveled state. She apparently doesn't care, and she lights up. She goes, well, welcome to the Silver Thaggy. She has a wide smile, and she grasps the handle to the door, and she kind of struggles a little bit, but she slowly opens it and is allowing you to enter.
How old is she, you said?
She looks to be probably like 8, maybe. 8 years old.
Okay.
Young.
As kind of walking up, who might you be, little miss?
Oh, Uncle Thordoom doesn't like it when I talk to too many of the patrons.
All right. What's your name?
And as you ask her that, you hear a voice bellow out, "Ah! You coming or you going?" And then you hear her.
We'll talk about this later.
Okay. I'm assuming you walk in.
Yeah.
Okay. As soon as
we're staying.
Go ahead. You're staying. Yeah. You walk in.
We're staying.
And, you hear. That's the voice of Amberbelly ringing out. Definitely from behind the bar. You don't see him at first. And as soon as the girl is the door's closing and she's about to walk back outside, you hear a very familiar voice call out, "Priscilla, please come back inside. You might catch a cold." She's like, "I'm just holding the door, Mom. We have customers." And you see the very familiar shape of Sarah come walking around the corner. And as soon as she locks eyes on you two, the tray she was holding falls from her hands, smashes onto the floor. The glass shatters, spilling ale at your feet. Marius, is that you? And at that moment, Priscilla looks up. She's, I thought you said he was dead. And that's where we're ending tonight's episode of Rise of the Forsaken.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. That felt good. That felt good.
Oh, gee.
I don't know what's going on with that. I guess we'll find out next time. It could be anything.
We'll see.
It could be anything. I don't know.
Does Marius have a daughter?
I don't know. Does he? I mean, I don't know.
Or did his woman get knocked up?
I don't know. I mean, geez, there's just so much going on.
Find out next time.
Find out next time. Yeah, exactly. So, favorite moments from the cast?
I guess my favorite movie was finding out I have a daughter, you know?
I know, man. Ooh. All that unprotected sex. Who would have thought?
It's true, you know?
Who would have thought? Oof. Indeed.
I did enjoy the bombshell at the end. I hope it's not Marius's kid.
You hope it's not. I certainly hope it is.
Just so you can kill them and take them away from me.
Oh man. Well, you know, a certain somebody purposely wrote their backstory with all of their family dead. So
hey, they did. It's not my fault.
So I had to give you more. Yeah,
that's true.
But
Seamus doesn't have any family either. You know?
I mean, he did right. He did give me the opportunity. He's like, yeah, they exist. And then I've tortured him with him since. It's fine. Of course, we haven't heard the last of that. Don't worry.
Okay.
So, my favorite moment. I definitely enjoyed the flight down the mountain. You guys did. It went about as well as I expected, with you guys being severely exhausted. Yeah. So it obviously would have went better if you weren't, but it is what it is, and you guys made it through. Nobody died. I've yet to make you guys hit 0 either, and that's frustrating. I want somebody to drop at some point.
I felt like you were close.
I was close. I was very close, but we'll see. Just out of
that woman, she could be trusted.
Yeah, that was. I will say that was if you wouldn't have put on that damn mask, that would have not been revealed for quite some time. So that was a big reveal. Yeah, I was hoping you wouldn't look at her with it on at any point. Yeah. So yeah, but you don't know anything about that. Marius doesn't know. He doesn't know what she is. I know what she is. Pretty much everyone else probably knows what she is. Some type of demon. So yeah. Regardless, guys, awesome game, guys. That went over pretty well. Good episode. We will be picking this up next time. Pretty much right where we're leaving off. Exactly right where we're leaving off, in fact. So bring your A game, and it's going to be good. I'd like to say thank you to all of our loyal subscribers and viewers that have been watching the channel and been just dedicated watching it up to this point. We definitely enjoy all the comments, guys, and we enjoy all of the support. Do make sure to let us know down in the comments section what you guys liked about said session, or what you guys think is coming up and what's going on. These guys need all the help they can get. So, as usual, guys, I have been Jumbo Thick. This has been Rise of the Forsaken. Thank you very much for watching, and we all look forward to seeing you in the next one.